The gates of hell had opened, unleashing terrifying monsters onto Earth. These monsters began mercilessly killing humans, and no one could stand against them. Soon, the entire world was engulfed in darkness. All these monsters were controlled by a queen named Nemo. King Arthur, who had been fighting these monsters for years, finally came face to face with the queen. Seizing the moment, one of his soldiers struck her with a spear. However, no ordinary weapon could harm her. The queen's monsters rushed to protect her, but they fled in fear when confronted by a priest's magic. The queen then used her black magic to kill Arthur's soldiers. Amidst the chaos, Arthur drew his sword, the only weapon capable of killing her. Only Arthur or his bloodline could wield it. Arthur decapitated the queen and sealed her remains in 6 boxes, hiding them in different places with the help of his knights. 1,000 years later, Hellboy was searching for a friend who had gone missing 2 weeks earlier while hunting vampires. His search led him to a boxing club, where he found his friend, who attacked him, having turned into a vampire after being bitten. Hellboy didn't want to kill him, but during the fight, his friend died. Before dying, he reverted to his original form and warned Hellboy that the end of the world would be caused by him. Troubled, Hellboy returned to the Paranormal Investigation Bureau, where his father informed him that monsters in England were killing and eating humans. Hellboy was tasked with stopping them. Upon reaching England, he met Professor Adam and a mysterious woman who revealed his origins. When he was born, he looked like a monster, and everyone wanted to kill him. However, his father had saved him and raised him with care. Meanwhile, a pig-like monster was shown finding one of the queen's boxes and beginning a ritual to resurrect her. Elsewhere, Adam and his soldiers, under the pretense of hunting monsters, took Hellboy to a location to kill him. They attacked him with sharp weapons, including a spear. Although wounded, Hellboy fought back, but when they attempted to behead him, he escaped by diving into the water. Regaining consciousness, Hellboy saw giant monsters killing Adam's soldiers. The monsters attacked Hellboy, but he fought back with a tree trunk and their own swords, eventually defeating them. Exhausted, he collapsed and later woke up in the home of a girl named Alice, who could communicate with the dead. Hellboy's father arrived and revealed that the monsters had resurrected the queen, and Hellboy needed to stop her destruction. A man named Major mentioned that a part of the queen's body was still secured in a club. When Hellboy arrived there, he found the queen's earlier ally and many dead bodies. Alice used her power to summon the soul of a dead woman, who revealed that the queen was searching for a king to become even more powerful. She warned that if Hellboy became her king, the world would soon be destroyed. At the same time, the pig-like monster stole the final part of the queen's body and completed her resurrection. After gaining her full powers, the queen headed to the tree where Arthur had hidden her blood after killing her. A woman informed Hellboy that the queen would first visit this tree to reclaim her strength. However, before Hellboy and his allies could reach the tree, the queen had already absorbed the blood and become even more powerful. When Hellboy confronted her, the queen once again asked him to become her king and rule the world together. When he refused, she angrily attacked Alice with a sharp, magical thorn. Mountain where an old man cured Alice and told Hellboy about his true identity. He explained that King Arthur's granddaughter had married a demon, and Hellboy was their offspring. At his birth, priests foretold that Hellboy would bring the end of the world. The old man also revealed that the queen could only be killed with King Arthur's sword, which could only be wielded by his bloodline. Using magic, the old man summoned the sword buried deep in the earth. When Hellboy touched it, he had a vision of himself riding a dragon and destroying the world. Frightened, he refused to wield the sword. The old man warned him that this was his last chance to use the sword, as he would not be able to summon it again. Shortly after, the old man died. Meanwhile, the queen wreaked havoc in the city and attacked the secret sanctuary of Hellboy's father, the Professor. After killing everyone there, she abducted the Professor. Upon learning this, Hellboy rushed to a church to save him, only to face the pig-like monster again, who had grown larger and more powerful. The monster overpowered Hellboy, throwing him across the battlefield. During the fight, Major, one of Hellboy's allies, was severely injured. Suddenly, a shocking transformation occurred. Major's body ripped apart, revealing claws and fur as he turned into a panther-like monster. The two joined forces against the pig monster, but were no match for its strength. As the pig monster prepared to kill Hellboy, the queen arrived and chastised the monster for trying to kill him instead of convincing him to join her. She drained the monster of its power, killing it instantly. Suddenly, the ground cracked open, revealing King Arthur's tomb beneath the church, where the sword was also kept. The queen urged Hellboy to pick up the sword and join her in conquering the world. Hellboy refused, but the queen brought his father before him and, upon his continued defiance, killed the professor. Enraged, Hellboy drew the sword, and with it, he became immensely powerful. His horns grew long, and he looked exactly as he had in his vision, with the gates of hell opening and massive monsters emerging to wreak havoc on humanity. Seeing his power, the queen knelt before him, pleading with him to become her king. At that moment, Alice summoned the professor's soul, who reminded Hellboy that the fate of the world was in his hands. He could either save it or plunge it into darkness. Motivated by his father's words, Hellboy turned his rage toward the queen. With a powerful strike of the sword, he decapitated her. Her death caused the hell creatures to perish and fall back into hell as the gates closed. Hellboy, now free of the corrupting influence, broke off his devilish horns and cast them aside. With the queen defeated and the gates of hell sealed, the movie ended on a hopeful note.